Greeting. This is Skylar Saunders Singh. What's current? The debate. Everybody, it's on everybody's lips. Every podcast, every broadcast is talking about it. I'm going to talk about it. I know I've been talking about Hitler. I'm talking about, charismatic, very strong willed and forceful and, you know, uh, somewhat on the surface, mighty kind of person, but is really not. But enough about Donald Trump. But anyway, no, both of them, Donald Trump and Biden, are horrific. It's sad. It's like Pepsi and Coca Cola. If the Pepsi and Coca Cola were from 1915 or something like that, and we were just cracking it open, and we're like, this tastes, this tastes okay. It's flat, but it's still sugary, and it's like it's kind of tastes all right. And that's in both cans. I mean, the Coke can or whoever it might be, the Coke can or the Pepsi can might have been better than the other one in certain circumstances, but they're both pretty awful. Or maybe the cans are something with just enough cyanide to not kill you. Whatever amount of poison, like the amount, it's just enough to not kill you. That's what we're dealing with now. So we have to really focus in on the fact that these two men, are overgrown adolescents. One, a complete megalomaniac, or that's a big word. That's just basically someone so full of themselves they can't see their own bullshit. That's a vulgar way of putting it, of course. But and that would be Trump. Biden, who is basically, demented, completely, out of focus, out of touch, out of, range. I thought he was going to have, at least the amount of vigor that he had to sustain himself for the presidential State of the Union address earlier this year. No, he didn't. He called for this debate. He wanted it, and he lost it handedly, but not by default. Not because Trump is so great and such a wonderful speaker and a great person, or a person, good God, politician. He just won by default. Now, if there was a young, somewhat, very educated, very thoughtful, very principled, very moral individual, female, male, non-binary, I don't care, as long as they have a brain and have thoughts of individual rights, because that was not discussed at all last night and will never be discussed for the foreseeable future. Individual rights. They'll go around and they'll say, oh, well, we can talk about, the economy and how jobs are lost and collectivize people. We say, well, black people, how can we help black people? How can we help black people? That's a collectivist ideal. How can we help Hispanic people? How can we help poor people? How can we help collect old people? By, first of all, individuating these people, making them into individuals. That's the key thing to do. That's the proper thing to do. So that's, on tap for that. We have to acknowledge the fact that we have a terrible culture. I mean, I was just listening to Dr. Yaron Brook. He said, we have a broken political system, but we have a broken culture. We prize, the imbecile. We prize the losers. That's why there's participation trophies. Just that notion of a participation trophy. That's what his wife Jill gave to her husband Joe Biden last night. Post the debate. Well, he tried. He did his. He did okay. Everybody give it up for him. What did Trump do? And then the crowd says lie. And it's like, really? I mean, he's been lying ever since. It's not even like it's something new. It's not. And they both lied. Biden lied. Trump lied. They both were on the same page in that regard. So, I mean, that's exactly what we are. We're a culture of participation trophies, and the kids understand. Kids are honest for the most part. Young kids, because they don't have enough. Yeah, exactly. Shot by Fabi. Is that right? Fabi or Fabi? Correct me if I'm wrong. He's checking in. He says smoking on that Biden pack. Yes, smoke on that. I'm smoking on my Trump pack. Why are you smoking Trump packs? He lost. Biden lost. That's not a question. But it's not like Trump had a big win. He didn't. It's like knocking over a domino or something. It's like the rest just falls by itself. That he didn't do much else. He just knocked over the first domino. It's not like an amazing feat. Like it was like a toe to toe at at the end. To the minute. Down to the last second. Who's going to be the best idea maker? Who's going to be the best thought provoker? I don't know if provoker is a word, but one who makes provocative statements. Um, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm saying that they both essentially lost, but Trump didn't lose as badly as Biden. That's what I can say. Yeah. I'm saying that out of just respect for the American people. I'm saying that for respect of the people of this nation and what we really deserve. And what Mr. Chorzar Terrain, we actually had a conversation earlier today, but he was just saying, it should be some kind of law against what just happened last night. It could be construed as elderly abuse. Excuse me, elderly abuse. I know Biden's a few more years older than Trump, but not by much. I think it's like 5 or 6 years or something like that. And so they're not way off. They're not that far off in years, but there's definitely a disconnect with Biden. He talks real low and he has his hands like this, and he stumbles and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I meant to say, I meant to say," and Trump was just like, you know what? I don't even have to do my fireworks anymore. I don't have to pull out much anything. I don't have to pull a rabbit out the hat. I don't have to do anything. So he definitely had more shots on him, but it wasn't like an amazing feat. Like I said, it wasn't like some grand achievement. Trump is still horrible. He's still a terrible candidate. We're not going to win if he does win, quote unquote. We're not going to win. The American people will lose either way. I don't know who said this. I wish I could give him credit, but I've been saying it for the past few months. Trump is a dumpster fire. He is a dumpster fire. He's like, it's burning up the juices at the bottom of the can of the dumpster, and it stinks and it's ugly and it's nasty and it's on fire. It's on fire though. It's on fire. That's the thing. It's like it's something that grabs your attention and it creates heat. It's a spectacle, but it's a dumpster on fire. Like that's the truth. And Biden, I always say, is like being frozen to death, like locked in a meat locker, and you're slowly dying from being from frostbite and being overwhelmed by the conditions. So you have to realize it in both respects. You have to realize it in both ways. I think that both of them have the capacity for being just saying, you know what, I'm out. Both that would be the ideal way of showing the American people that they actually gave a shred of a damn about the United States of America. Just a smidgen of a damn. If they'd said just both, shook hands and said, we're gonna find other people, we're gonna bring in young people that are very diligent, care about this country, are American. Because if you're for Trump, that's being un-American. I guess for Biden, it's dis-American. I don't know. Maybe it's un-American as well, but it's definitely not American as America, qua American, qua principles, qua morals, qua facts, qua reason, qua truth. That's what you're not getting from these two men, if you want to call them men. They both act like little children. So I have to just state the fact that we're a tizzy. We're in for a whole realm of things. I mean, can they do that? Is that I'm sure that has to be possible. I don't know what about the political procedures, but if they can at least get in. We talked about Mr. Troy Star Terrain said today. He was like, "Get Michelle Obama up there." I said it'll be terrible, but it'd be better than this. You know, get Michelle Obama up there. Get um, sister girl, Vice President Harris. Get her up there. Um, and they can have a sister girl moment. They can have, I'm every woman. They can sing that together and do the double dutch and do the bus stop. They can do all that and all that fly fancies and have their hair did and everything and come out to Beyonce's single ladies and go. Even though they're not single ladies, I'm just saying, the song itself, annoying song, but you know what I mean. And on the Republican side, who's on the Republican side that even has a clue? I don't even know. I really can't even imagine too many people. But I can just like imagine people that aren't in the political field, but will be great. Keith Lockett of the Ayn Rand Institute. He's his background is in physics. He's a physicist. But I think he would have great ideas. I think he was born in America, so I have to say him. I think other people that I can think of are all born in other parts of the world. Dr. Yaron Brook was born in Israel. Dr. Ankar Gate was born in Canada, I think. So it's like it's hard to. Greg Salmieri, I have to check where he was born. Give me 1 second. Let me see exactly where Greg Salmieri was born. I think he was born in America. I could be wrong though. Let me make sure. But here, Robert Mayhew. I think he was born in America. He could definitely be a candidate for president. I'd vote for him. I vote for Gregory Salmieri. I think they are both born in America. I vote for Tara Smith. I think Alon Journal was born in Israel, but I could be wrong. But Tara Smith, Dr. Robert Mayhew, all these individuals I would vote for because they are principled. They have the right ideas. Hillary Clinton would saying, I'm every woman." Yeah, I would vote for Michael Moore president. Michael Moore, like Michael Moore, the author. I mean, the author and documentarian. Is that who you're talking about, Michael Moore? He's a ball of just disgustingness. He's just a muckraker. Hell, I would vote Mitt Romney. Well, if Mitt Romney knew what the hell he was talking about, I would have voted for Mitt Romney too, because I did vote for Mitt Romney, actually. I actually did vote for Mitt Romney. I actually did. Back in 2012. But it was only because I didn't want Obama to be in office anymore. Like a lot of people. But he didn't know what the hell he was talking about. He didn't know how to explain his own company. He didn't even know how to explain the inner workings of I'm trying to remember the exact name of it, but it was something like capital management. Like, let me see what it is. Let me see. Mitt Romney. Bain Capital. It was Bain Capital. It specializes in private equity, venture capital, credit, public equity, impact investing, life sciences, crypto, tech opportunities, partnership opportunities, special situations, and real estate. Now that's a mouthful, and I can almost understand the reason why he didn't understand it, because that's a lot of things going on. But it's basically just taking smaller companies and taking them out of the market, or rearranging them, or completely changing the board of directors and taking out the CEO and taking out all the garbage that you don't need and instituting all the things that you do need. And it's just basically like liquidating a company. If you ever seen the movie, Dr. Yaron Brook always talks about it. Other people's money. It's a beautiful, beautiful script. One of the best business script, close to The Social Network. I mean, you can argue it's not really a business, but they talk about business, and there's little tidbits about business in both movies, and they work on that level. But I would say that Other People's Money is probably even a little bit stronger because they were able to have a sense of and Social Network's like one of my top 5 movies of all time. But yeah, so uh, I think that Other People's Money is a run for its money. Did you see what I did there? Anyway, um, um, yeah, this is just disgusting. It's really sad. I'm trying to think of a. I was just saying, of Democrats. The only thing I can think of is Kamala Harris, and that's not a step up, really. She's just following in the old man's footsteps. Not her old man, but the old man, Biden. She wouldn't have any original ideas. If they were original, they would be horrific. They'd be terrible and collectivistic, most likely, and altruistic. And that's what another thing that Dr. Yaron Brook said too today. He was saying how, oh well, he's very old, and that's ageism, and he could be disabled in his head, and that, that's his disability, and it's all about altruism. It's all about the others. It's all about concern for other people above yourself, sacrificing for other people above yourself. That's the main thing. So that's what we have to really realize and dig into. Those facts, the facts that that all of this had for us. I would let Kamala Harris slap me. Okay, she's got that bitch attitude. Okay, I just think she's a nothing. They're all nothings. Everybody in the political spectrum, from 0 to 100, and there is no hundreds. Everybody's probably middling in the 20s, or if you had like 0, the least morality, the least, principled, to 100, the most principled. You find, most politicians would probably be, middling in the 20s or teens. They wouldn't be very far in near the 100 mark. Most politicians. I mean, I'm missing some. Some are out there that are actually very good, or at least somewhat good, have some kind of semblance. And you have people like Mitt Romney's running partner Ryan. He had an idea. I think he had thoughts about the Fountainhead, and I think maybe Atlas Shrugged, even Ayn Rand's famous masterpieces, magnum opus. He didn't have it all there. He couldn't remember all the right ways of governance and things of that nature. Paul Ryan. Yeah, Paul Ryan. He wasn't that great either. Like, it's really sad. It's sad, but I have rational hope. I have rational hope for this country. I think it's not gonna be in a leader. It's not gonna just be in a leader. I think it's gonna be in a culture. Dr. Yaron Brook said this as well. It's going to be in the cultural revolution. It's going to be an intellectual revolution. It's going to be by the people. We're going to learn how to be, proper human beings. Not just look for, the TV show or the movie or, sports or, the other diversions to keep our minds off of politics and things like that. Well, those are kind of good things, though, in a way, to keep our minds off of politics, because politics is just so mind-numbing and so, kind of boring in a lot of ways, and just awful. It's just awful on both sides, the left and the right. And I still say about the left. The left look at the black, they think about collectives. They think about black people. They roll their eyes. They say, do we still have to deal with the blacks? Like, they're slowing us down. We're supposed to be the party of the sciences. They're not in the sciences. They're with the right wing, really, with all their emotion and their faith and everything like that. And so, do we really have to be with them? I guess we do, because it's part of the electorate. They make up a percentage of the votes, and because the votes were denied to them so many years, they're going to go out and vote and say, "At least I voted." That's the era we're in right now. And to anybody that says, I'm not going to vote, and they have to have more melanin in their skin than other people, I say, all right. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, what? You're not going to vote? You got to vote, man. You got to vote." No, no, you don't. You really don't. I'm not. There should be 7 parties. There should be 8 parties. There should be 12 parties. Why are there only 2 main ones, Coca-Cola and Pepsi, when there could be Dr. Pepper, and there could be, I don't know. Maybe I could do alcohol. Why is it just Jack Daniels and Jimmy Walker? Was it Johnny Walker? Excuse me, not Jimmy Walker's head. The Dynamite, yeah. But Johnny Walker and goddamn Jack Daniels. Why can't it be other liquors? Why can't it be other to choose from? You're not even you're not even fully an adult before you're able to. I mean, before you're able to when you're able to vote, you'll be 21. People are arguing, well, maybe we should raise the age to 21 for voting. Maybe that will change the electorate. Maybe that will change the landscape. Doesn't matter. It's all about ideas. Good ideas. Good ideas like reason, individualism, and capitalism. Those are the good ideas. Those are great ideas. Those are excellent ideas that nobody talks about. Or if they do talk about them, they say the wrong thing about them. They say that they're improper, or they're go against what they're saying, or have no clue how to defend them. They have no clue how to do it. They have no understanding of the reality of reason, which is your capacity to think. That's the short answer. But the long answer is crazy, because it's like, okay, that's a lot of words getting thrown at me, but I'm going to try it. The faculty which identifies and integrates the materials provided by men's senses. Whew! But that's reason. I have to say it. That's reason. I just say capacity to think as a shorthand. That's not really adequate. That's not very, all encompassing. That doesn't give you the full breadth and completion, but it just is short, understanding. Individualism. Basically, I don't have a definition for individualism, but as a just as I'm grasping and groping at ideals, it's essentially your oneness, your one sense of self, your one sense of being your only person. No one else can be you. No one, you can't be anyone else. You're individuated. Even conjoined twins may share brain matter, but they can't share the same mind. That's a fact. So we have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge the fact that people are definitely in a state of understanding that the individual should not be elevated. That's evil. That's vicious. But the individual is the only thing. The individual is the only thing. Matter of fact, I got time. I'm gonna say the exact definition of it. What the entry is in Ayn Rand lexicon. Individualist, really, is the proper. Individualism regards man, every man, as an independent, sovereign entity who possesses an inalienable right to his own life, a right derived from his nature as a rational being. Individualism holds that a civilized society or any form of association, cooperation, or peaceful coexistence among men can be achieved only on the basis of the recognition of individual rights, and that a group as such has no rights other than the individual rights of its members. So that's like a really long, definition for individualism. Now we're going to do capitalism. Now I'm going to do my take on it as well. Capitalism is a social system based on the recognition of individual rights, including property rights, in which all property is privately owned. I was going to say something along those lines, but they said it right there. It's all about individual rights and property rights. That's all capitalism is. There's facets of capitalism like making money, trading hand to hand, goods for value for value. All that is part of capitalism, but that's not the definition of capitalism. Those are facets of it. Those are different aspects of capitalism. So we have to really be on guard and pay attention to the definitions that come our way. That's reason, individualism, and capitalism. And nobody's talking about that. They're not going to say that. The moderator is not going to ask the question about what do you think about reason, individualism, and capitalism. And then Biden will freeze up. He'll just be like, and Trump will just be like, well, it's just I'm gonna. I try to do a Trump impersonation. I'm just gonna just say it. He'd just be like, well, I'm not really, too interested in reason, individualism, and capitalism. I'm really interested in making sure the country runs well and how we can do better and how we can lift up the just platitudes, dry platitudes, lame, different wordings. That's all he would do. He would never be able to address because he has no context. His mind is basically fixed on winning. He wants to win. He's winning. He's just like Charlie Sheen, winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. Okay, I'm winning. And like he just wants that little piece of the pie. Again, he already bit off a piece for 4 years, and we saw what happened with his presidency in 4 years. Anybody remember that? See, we have short attention spans, short-term memory. He was one of the worst presidents ever. Like Biden is one of the worst presidents ever. Like Obama was one of the worst. It's like a streak. Obama was one of the worst presidents ever. Bush was one of the worst presidents ever. We're on a streak right now. And whoever gets into office either is going to continue to be the worst president or be the worst president again. Barring that we have a global pandemic, some kind of virus or disease that escapes and wreaks havoc upon the entire world. I mean, that was a bleak moment. He's all talking about injecting bleach and oh no, it's going to be over in a few weeks. It's going to be over in a few months. Don't worry. Does anybody else remember that? No, we say, oh snap! It's like it's Kendrick versus Drake. Oh, did he hit him? He hit him with that. Oh my God! That we forgot. We forgot how horrible of a president Trump was. We forget how horrible Biden is. So the answer is to take Biden down. Take him down, not physically, I'm not saying take him down, assassinate him or something crazy. Take him down from the stage. Take him down, sit him down, give him a bag of Werthers and to give to his grandkids or his great grandkids or however many he has. Just let him just relax. Just relax. He had too many facts in his head that he had to remember. Oh well, Trump. When he came into office, it was 15%. By the time he left, I think he said by the time he left office, it was 15% unemployment, and I think it was like he just so many things he was trying to say. And like it was very cringeworthy. It's very cringeworthy to watch the man just completely just go off the rails and make the train crash into the river. Or the bridge collapse and the train go into the river. And the same thing happened with Trump. Trump couldn't answer any questions principally. He couldn't say anything of merit. He couldn't say anything of truth, of facts, reality. He had to rely on his own somewhat charisma, if you want to call it charisma. He has that, that marketing sense about him. He definitely has a marketing sense about him. He can say a certain phrase and, speak in such a way that it seems like it would be, oh, that's interesting. Huh? But you have to remember the source. You have to remember where this all comes from. This comes from a man who put out a 5-page ad for the Central Park Five and accused these innocent young men of committing this heinous and vicious crime. And he pulled out, multiple ads and publications saying that they were guilty. He had different rent controls for people of color. Talk about individuals. Didn't mind, anybody else. Just the people of color. Just banded them together collectively and said, this is what your rent is in these buildings. It's disgusting. It's very disgusting. It's very nasty. And the whole, Obama was born in Kenya and stuff like that. It's just, he knows how to just say, he can't just come out and say, you know what, this nigger was never really born in this country. You know that, right? He can't say that. He knows that. He's got enough sense to say he can't really say that. He knows he can't say that. He wants to. He probably says it in private. I'm sure just like with, the grab him by the that happened. So he just represents something so disgusting and ugly and mean and puny and weak about America. But this is our production. The late great George Carlin said that. They come from the same schools. They went to the same churches. They went to the same universities. They played the same sports. They played, this is our product. We get what we deserve. We get the politicians we deserve. If we wanted better politicians, we would make better schools privatized. We would make, churches completely separate from state. There'll be no there'll be no taxes, but they couldn't rely on, being tax exempt. But nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about IC, Dr. Yaron Brook, and ideas. Oh boy. Nobody's talking about taking ideas away from the government. Ideas are firmly planted baked in the idea of government. Science is something that's definitely should be separated from government. Science is what makes us, better living creatures. The knowledge of longing life, making life longer, making life better. That's where we are. That's what we have to do. That's what we're called upon to do as Americans. Economics. State from economics. Completely separate. There should be different stores and different websites that are only for white people, only for black people, only for yellow people, only for red people, only for brown people, and see what happens. We should see that experiment. You walk into a Walmart and you're black. Oh, I'm sorry. Only white people can come into Walmart. Oh, you're coming into the Nike store. Oh, only black people can shop at Nike store. I mean, it would just be ridiculous. That's vicious and ugly, but it should be possible. That's what's so wrong about the Civil Rights Act. I'm going to be talking about that on, I think, Tuesday. The Civil Rights Act is going to be 60 years old on Tuesday. So we have to reflect on that. We have to be aware of that. That's something that should be within our grasp. So, I mean, it's It's just rough. It's rough. But E, the final E of IC, education. Education encompasses all of the IC: ideas, science, and economics. If we had privatized preschool to to post a doctorate, we would have a much better land. And people say, well, how you do that? How are you going to fund the schools? How are you going to fund the roads? How are you going to fund the TV? What do you think? We have we have hundreds of trillions of dollars that go in and flow in the markets Monday through Friday. Hundreds of trillions of dollars that flow in and out. I think we can handle it. I think we'll be all right. And like a lot of people say, oh, well, they're going to have ads. They're going to have a place where ads. Like I've said before, there's a site that's called vocal.media, has 0 ads. You can be a subscriber or you cannot be a subscriber. Subscriber is like $110 a year. That's it. A year, not a month, a year. And you don't have to be a subscriber. You just don't have as many benefits. Like for one, each article, every view you get, every 6 views is $3.80. No, not every 6 views. Every view that you get that's like over 100, something like that, somewhere around there. But it's like $3.80 for non-subscribers, and subscribers it's $6. So we have to have that as a part of something that is very vital to our existence as Americans. We have a corrupt culture. That's the problem. It's not the politicians. Screw the idea about Trump and Biden. Forget them. It's not about them. It's about us. It's about America. And it's so cute because on the Dr. Euron Brooks show, there's somebody named Scott. He's like a terrible person, apparently. He's like the persona non grata of the chat room or what in the live chat. He represents like the worst in all the people that are on there. But Dr. Brooke always says he's just waiting to hear him say, but Peikoff, Dr. Leonard Peikoff, is voting for Trump. And what does that mean? Well, if Dr. Leonard Peikoff votes for Trump, that must mean he's pretty good. That's as second-handed as you can possibly get. Dr. Peikoff has his own reasons for voting for Trump, and that's personal, and that's his way of expressing himself. You latching on and saying, oh, well, he's going to vote for Trump, so I might as well vote for Trump too. That's second-handed as hell. That's not first-handed. That's latching on to someone else's ideas and not recognizing and realizing your own. For whatever reason Dr. Peikoff may have, it's still his own selfish way of expressing himself, in the polls. For you to say, oh yeah, Dr. Peikoff, yeah, he's down for Trump. I'm down for Trump too. What? That's awful. You don't say that. That's improper. That's improper to speak. Completely improper to speak that way. So we have to have some kind of renaissance. We have to have a rebirth. And it's very difficult, but it's not impossible. I was amazed and like happily surprised at this during the Ocon objectivist conferences. They had a reel of young people, of students. This younger woman said, I guess she's a young girl, a young woman. She said, I used to think that, I have to protect the environment and I have to be, ecologist and all this stuff like that. Then I read Ayn Rand. Like she just had a complete 180, and reversed her and stomped on the gas forward and to reason, individualism, and capitalism. And now knows that, all the environmentalists, quote unquote, environmentalists, because they don't care about the environment. They just want to see, destruction of man. That's all they care about. They're just, focused on, being in tune with uh, not with nature, but with destroying the nature of man. That's their whole ideal. But I was pleasantly surprised when she said she reversed everything. She completely took it into a totally different realm and thought of something that was different. And I respected her for that. Whoever that young lady is, salute. Um, I just think that we can band together. We are this country. Gladly, the founding fathers, knew they're like, it's gonna get goofy. We're gonna have to have amendments. We're gonna have to have laws changed. We're gonna have to have different ways of conveying the message. And what is that message? That message is freedom, and not just the touchy, cozy, comfy feeling of just the sound of freedom and liberty, but actual liberty and freedom. Freedom of thought, freedom of mind, freedom of action, liberty. That's what I'm talking about. And libertarians have no clue, because you can be whatever you want with libertarian. I'm an objectivist. Libertarians can be atheists, they can be Catholics, they can be Jews, they can be Muslims, they can be whatever. They can be, anarchists. They can be, that's what I say, anarcho libertarians. There's no such thing as an anarcho capitalist. There's no such thing. The only modifier that goes before capitalism is laissez-faire, which means hands off, let us alone, let do. That's what laissez-faire means. So that's the only modifier that should be put in front of capitalism properly. So I think the basis of all this is the fact that we just don't. We're like, they're supposed to do it. That's their job. And we're not supposed to do anything. We're not supposed to be active citizens for our own lives. That's the attitude that Americans have. So what? Meh, meh, meh. It's meh, America. That's what we're living in right now. Meh, America. It used to be America. You kind of had a sense with America. It was wrong. America is wrong. Trump is, the embodiment of America, because he has that marketing scheme. He has a great marketing scheme. I have to give him credit for that. He has a great marketing scheme, but it's a scheme. It's not real. It's not based on truth, but it's great marketing. He's a phenomenal marketer. Have to give him that much credit. But beyond that, he's a hollow piece of nothing. He's hollow and less than and completely corrupt. He's obviously he's a 34 count felon. And it's just like it's you try to write this book. If you just started to write this book, there's a felon, a convicted felon running for president, and he's winning in the polls. You'll be like, okay, this is this is a comedy, right? This is not real. This can't happen in real life. This is a farce, right? You're not serious. Well, they both are what, Rick James? They both are what? I don't know what they both have. What are they both? What they both? Well, they both are convicted. No, Biden's not literally a convicted felon. He's guilty on a lot of things, but he's not a convicted felon. His son's a convicted felon, but he's not a convicted felon. So we have to watch for this. It's too crucial. It's too important for us to be Americans, the noblest nation in the history of all mankind. Now we have our faults. We have original sin, slavery. That's like God damn it. Like slavery just screwed it all up. Like It would have been perfect, but I think that was mainly mysticism. They're like, hey, well, it's working over here. We might as well put it on this new place and have it work for over 100 years. You know, quote unquote work. You know, the work was backbending, not mind numbing, soul crushing work that men and women had to perform, and were brutalized and sexualized, and all kinds of unpleasant things happened during that time. The worst thing that Trump did was get with that Stormy Daniels. No, that's not the worst thing he did. The worst thing he did was run for president. That was the worst thing he possibly did. He should have stayed behind in the waiting in the wings, and just maybe looked at the podium, said, you know what, that would have been a nice idea if I was president, but passing phase. I can't do this. I wouldn't be able to do this properly. That was the worst thing. Stormy Daniels is a less than important, less than something of crucial matters. Very, very insignificant. Rick James, very insignificant. um so I would say that we have the opportunity to say that we're close to being part of a greater idea. I have a rational hope. I don't know. I just It's a rational hope, because hope by itself is kind of irrational. But I have a rational hope that says that we can someday crawl out of this decrepitude, this disgustingness, this disturbing way of living, and rise above. And like I said, there's got to be one or two out of all the other 330 million Americans, and then you can chop that down, to 200 million, maybe 100 million, 50 million, 25 million, 250,000, 100,000, 50,000, 10,000, 500. Just keep chopping it down, and 500 goes to 200, 200 goes to 50, 50 goes to 10, 10 goes to 2. We could possibly do that. Two elegant speakers, two eloquent speakers. And that's just speakers. I mean, speakers of ideas. They can speak very well and have great, speech. They could be orators, great, shapers of words. But if those words have no substance, there's no reason for them to be expressed. That's where we are right now, Trump and Biden. They're both telling lies. They both can't go on without a lie. People are like, "Oh, look at Biden, he's lying. He's got the facts all wrong. Everything." Yes, he did have the facts wrong. Same thing with Trump. Trump had all the facts wrong. But it's like a battle rap. I mean, people are like, "Oh, word, he said that. Damn, that was he got it at his soul. Damn, son, like damn." He used the triple. I can't see Trump ever using a triple entendre, but Kendrick Lamar, in his battle rap, used triple entendres. But I can't ever see Trump ever doing that, or Biden. Really, to be honest, I can't see Biden showing himself to be a thoughtful speaker. Can't see that happening. So it's on us. It's on Americans. It's all on Americans. I wouldn't trust Biden to break an egg. Well, I wouldn't trust Trump either. That's my point. That's what I'm trying to drive home. I wouldn't trust Trump or Biden to walk across the street. I don't need to be walked across the street, but I wouldn't trust them to, carry a water bottle, you know, to a runner, on the last leg of a marathon. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't trust them. Couldn't trust them. They're too corrupt. Both of them. They're too corrupt. And like I said, Biden, I'm not even, this is not even a joke. This is all in all seriousness. He needs to be evaluated. He needs an evaluation. And Trump needs an evaluation too, but it'd just be a different. Oh, and of course he says, "Oh, but I aced them. I completely aced all the tests and all the cognitive functioning tests." And then, of course, he brags about it as if it's something of a major epiphany, a major finding, in his mind. Um, he takes that. That's the serious part. That's how serious it is. That's why I want to see someone, some young woman, some young guy, some young non-binary, somebody with brains, somebody with the smart, somebody with the gall to say, "Look, you're out of your goddamn minds, all of you. I am too. So don't worry. I know what it's like. I'm crazy enough to say I want reason, individualism, and capitalism for this country. That's how crazy I am for it. I'm crazy enough to say that we should have thought. We should have, what do they say? Reason, individualism, and capitalism. Free minds, free men, and free markets. That's what those are the corollaries of reason, individualism, and capitalism. You heard a rumor that Donald Trump Jr. 2028. Once again, more corruption. He'll just be a reflection of his daddy. He'll just be a reflection of his daddy, and that wouldn't be any surprise to me. He'll probably speak better. He probably have a better way of conveying his thoughts, but that's about it. He wouldn't have the same oomph, the same gumption as a speaker like Lincoln or somebody. That's the leadership we want, though. That's the leadership we found. That's sadly what we have as people within this country. We are what we produce. We are GIGO. Anybody remembers what GIGO means? Garbage in, garbage out. Well, we have garbage. We have the garbage out. You put the garbage in, the schools, the churches, the universities, and we got that out. Not Geico, Rick James, GIGO, GIGO. FIFO, LIFO. Oh my God. Now you're dabbing, right? You're on the train. You're on the juice, aren't you? You're loose with the juice, the dust. Choo choo. But yeah. So America. Like I said, America is Trump. America is Trump. He is like, he's not America. He's America. He's apostrophe MERICA in the capital letters with the flag, waving in between the letters. That's what he is. That's what he stands for. And Biden, he doesn't even know what he stands for. He doesn't even. I don't even know if he knew he was there on debating parts of the debate. I don't even know if he was aware of it. So you can argue, oh yeah, Trump crushed him, Trump spanked him, Trump whooped him up. It was like senior abuse, elderly abuse. But he's technically an elder too. Let me make sure I get his age right. How old is this nigga? Huh? He's 78. He's 78, 81. 3 years apart. But there's like I said, there's something that's different. Either and it could just be time too, because Biden honestly did, somewhat okay in the first debate. He was sharp. He was like, "Ah, shut up. I'm not worried about you. I got this locked up. You're nothing. You're over. You're done with." Like he had that sensibility. I think his brain in the 4 years, since the campaign for president of 2024, it's declined. It's dissipated. It's gone down. And we have to take that into account. We have to really show that. We have to really, display the fact that he doesn't have everything all there. Just like Pink Floyd said, they took my marbles away. Crazy. Well, he's not crazy, but toys in the attic. He's not. He's showing signs of dementia. Or is it just lying, like they show in the commercials? Is it part dementia, or is it just dishonesty? They love to throw that around. But I really do think he has some kind of mental deficiency. Get his wife up there. She's fiery. She's spirited. She could win the debate probably. Have Jill up there. The people that elected Joe Biden, the Democratic the Democratic base, they would not probably object. They were like, okay, Jill, go ahead. Do your thing, Dr. Jill. Do your thing. Go ahead, girl. Do your thing, girl. Get her up there with Kamala Harris too. They can be like, I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. They can take it back. And that's them on the porch talking to the kids on my lawn song, by the way. If you didn't catch that song, you're not part of the old man on the porch telling the kids to get off his lawn. Like me, I'm 36 years old. I'm the old man of the Marine Corps. If I was still, in it, I'll be one of them. I'll probably be at least a gunny by now. At least a gunny. So that's the reality of it all. America, not the candidates. America has to change, because then they'll be like, they want this. That they cater to and placate to the base, to the American people. They put their finger in the air, feel the wind, and go that way. Whatever the Americans are doing, they go for it too. Sadly. But I still have my rational hope that there will be a day where there will be a candidate who will have everything in order, everything on top, every word pointed towards reality and truth and trust in the truth and the American way. All right. Now I have to do some commercials, as Rick James loves to hear me do. All right, here we go. First one is my main man, Pang. He has a strong. Hold on. Let me make sure I get it right. I don't want to get it wrong. LifeStrongApparel.com. LifeStrongApparel.com. He has sea moss. He has all these different things for you to peruse on his website. Make sure you go there and tell him that the goofy guy, Sky Saunders, sent you. Also, check out BEEJACKSON 5478 on YouTube. He has near beer. He's got fried chicken. He's got sardines on the grill. He's got a great personality. So definitely check him out. B Jackson 5478 on YouTube. Also on YouTube is Spirit Smooth Tunes. SPIRITSMOOTHTUNES. Spirit Smooth Tunes has Kim, Whitney Houston, The Gap Band, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Rolls Royce, and so many others of the era of bands and singing and R&B and Quiet Storm that you'll love and enjoy and share with your special loved one. That is your romantic interest, of course. Or you can just listen to it by yourself and tell them that this goofy guy, Sky Saunders, sent you. Also, pick up Dot Focus, twitch.tv/.focus. And that's one underscore, not a long bar. Dot Focus is on Twitch, DOTFOCUS _, one underscore. And also, if you like to schedule a quick consultation, for sponsorship or advertising on this program, all you have to do is hit me up at skyrlersaunders@gmail.com. Also, I have in my live chat, I have a few things. I have my PayPal. My PayPal is paypal.me/skyrlersaunders. My Venmo is at skyrlersaunders. And my Cash App is $skyrlersaunders. I'd like to thank everybody that came through. I got a decent amount of people, for this stream. Not as many as I usually get for the mobile device. But I just said, if it's working, I'm just going to use the laptop. So I'm going to see how many I get. It's probably going to be in the 20s, if not, probably 15 or 16. I don't know. But we'll see. But I thank you for watching. Thank you for viewing. And I will see you sometime tomorrow. Take care.